What's up future DBAs, data analysts and SQL developers? In this video today, I will be sharing with you how you can download and install SQL Server 2022. Not only that, I'll be sharing with you how to download and install Management Studio and connect to your database. Now I will be doing the installation and configuration step by step so you can follow along and set up your own environment. If you feel like I'm going too fast, pause the video, replay, and then you will catch up, right? So with that said, let's get right into it. So to get started, you want to go to Microsoft's website, right? I'll leave the link to this page in the description of this video. And for this video, we're going to be using the developer edition. The developer edition gives you all the feature that you will use in the enterprise edition and is great for practicing. So I'm just going to select download here, and we're going to be going with custom installation. You can always download the media, save it on your machine and use it for whenever you want, right? So I'm going to select custom. This is the location where it will be downloaded in my C drive, SQL 2022. Now I'm just going to select install. This may take a few minutes to complete. So once the download is completed, the SQL Server Installation Center will be launched. Right, so from the installation center, select installation, and we want to install a new SQL Server standalone installation. So we're going to select the first option. On this page, the developer version is already selected, so I'm just going to select next. Let's maximize this window. Accept the license and terms of agreement, then select next. On this page, select next as well. Select next. Now on this page, you can uncheck the Azure SQL extension. Select next. Now, depending on the features that you want, then you will select them from here. So we only want the database engine services. So I'm just going to check this option and then select next. You have the option to provide a name for your instance. However, I'll be keeping the default in this video. If you are doing the installation on a server where you have multiple instances running, then you'll need to have different instance IDs. So here I'm just going to select next. So because this is just my personal laptop and not a server for the database engine, I'm going to set the startup type to manual. So whenever my computer reboots, I have to start it manually. I don't want it running in the background and consuming unnecessary memory and resources. So I'm going to select manual and then select next. So guys, if you're new to SQL Server or if you want some additional training or refresher or touch up, I have a SQL Server Essential 2022 Administration course on Udemy. The link for that in the description below. For the authentication mode, right? I'm just going to be keeping the Windows authentication mode for now for directories, and I'm going to add the current user, which is me, right? So I'm now added. So to add the current user, you select add current user. Now for the data directories, I don't want these to be stored under my C drive, and you should not do this in your production environment either. So I'm going to be changing it. So I will be changing my data directory to my D drive. However, if you have one drive, you can just install it on your C drive. That's fine if it's just your laptop, but you should be aware of this when you're doing a configuration for a production database. I'm going to change the backup directory as well. Select from my D, MS SQL, and backups, right? So I'm all set here. Now for the temp DB, you can increase the number of files, right? And you can increase the auto growth rate. This is ideal if you're setting up an environment where you have a lot of read writes IOs, you have a lot of rebuilding of index and things like that. Then you may want to configure your temporary database accordingly. So the other settings like the max DOP, the memory, right? The max DOP is fine. For the memory, we want to change that from the default to recommended, and then you set the maximum amount of memory that you want your server to use. So I don't want mine to be using more than say 2000 megabytes. If you leave the default, it will use up all the memory available on your laptop. You don't want that, right? So select next. So now you need to accept the memory recommendation configurations, right? Then select next. Now select install. Now the installation may take a few minutes to complete. So our installation is now complete. So let's select close. Now one thing I want to show you real quick is the SQL Server Configuration Manager. So from your start, search SQL, right? And you'll see SQL Server 2022 Configuration Manager pops up. Now it is from here is one of the ways that you can start your SQL Server instance, right? So because in the installation process I selected to start manually, I now have to start my server engine. If you're trying to connect to your instance and you're not connecting, that is one of the first things you need to check, right? So now that my server is installed, I need to be able to connect to my database. In order for you to download Management Studio, the latest version, right, you need to go to the Microsoft website as usual, go to downloads. So basically it's the same page which we were on earlier, then scroll down on the downloads page and then select download SQL Server Management Studio. Once you do that, it will take you to this page, right? Then scroll down and here you want to grab the latest version. So you're going to select download SQL Server Management Studio SSMS 19. This may take a short moment to complete. So once the download is complete, open the executable file, select install. So what it's doing, it's installing Azure Data Studio with it as well. That's another management tool that you can use to manage your SQL Server databases. Not only SQL Server, it allows you to manage other databases like even Postgres. And it is cross-platformed, unlike SQL Server Management Studio. So the installation has been completed successfully. So select close. Now let's launch SMS. So from your start, search for SQL Server Management Studio or SSMS. So the first thing that you need to know is that because you install the server on your laptop, your server name is your laptop name, right? Whatever your laptop name or your PC name is, that's gonna be your server name. You can also use the word localhost to connect, right? And if you're not sure of your name either, you can use the period. When you specify the period like that and select connect, it will automatically connect you to the database server that is on your laptop. So if you don't remember how to connect, that's one of the easiest ways you can do it, or just use localhost. As you can see, this was the user that I added during the installation, right? So what I'll be doing now is that I will be restoring a database. So from the databases, expand, select restore database, and then I have an Adventure X22 backup, which I'm going to restore on my database server. So I'm just going to select OK. And my database has been restored successfully. So guys, that's the tip of the iceberg when it comes on to SQL Server management. Now if you want to learn more about SQL Server administration, I have a comprehensive course on Udemy, SQL Server Essential Training 2022, right? I'll leave a link to that in the description of this video. Now, if you're a data analyst or a database developer and you want to learn SQL, then you can check out our Ultimate Bootcamp for SQL Server on Udemy as well. The link will be in the description of this video. So that's it for now guys. Thank you for watching and don't forget to hit the subscribe button.